What is going on, Talon Knights? It's your boy Talon Master J here, and I'm here for a fiery and spicy new piece of content for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys know, I have been an amateur competitive Pokemon player in the draft league scene and whatnot, but I'm also a fan of the anime. I'm a fan of Anipoke, as they call it, which is the combination of anime and Pokemon together. It's been a thing for, I think, like 5 or 6 years. I think that term has been coined around. But the concept of this video, guys, is very simple. And it involves this little guy. Well, maybe not this guy specifically, but a variation of this little guy. By the way, I don't think I ever showed any of you guys this. This was a Christmas gift from my parents. Apparently it was done by a very cool artist. I got her socials right there if you guys want to see that, if you want to give her a follow and whatnot. And if anything, I don't really need it in my hand anymore, so whoop, goodbye. But long story short, you guys saw it. It was a Charmander. We're talking about Charizard today because, as you guys know, the Anipoke community is in a little bit of a stupor right now with the episode that just aired in Japan. Now, technically, this is a spoiler if you're an American like me. Although, in all fairness, I watched the anime in Japanese without subtitles, and then I watch it in the Champions World server. By the way, go follow the Champions World on Twitter, on YouTube. Go follow all of those creators. They are awesome champions, and I'm just grateful to be a part of that community. I'll say that straight up. But just recently, we did a watch party on Friday night for the newest episode in the anime, which was the start of the Masters 8 tournament. You had Leon, Cynthia, Steven, Lance, Diantha, Alain, Iris, Ash. All 8 of the Masters champions were all there getting ready for this tournament. Now, to some people, is it a little bit early for it? A little bit, maybe not. I mean, they've been making Ash win nonstop. I mean, it's one thing or another. But on Friday night, we saw this episode, and I'm saying it right now. The spoiler was very simple. Leon absolutely obliterated Alain. And now I'll say it straight up. I thought it was good. I thought it was nice to see Leon dominate himself the way that he did. But the main thing that everybody got off on was the fact that Alain's Charizard, that uber strong Charizard, got destroyed by Leon's team in no time flat. And actually, if you believe one of my colleagues in the Champions World server, of which, again, go follow them, go sub to them, and while you're at it, if you've made it this far in the video, this is your obligatory subscribe to the channel, leave a like down below, comment down below what you think of this video, and also leave a subscribe. It's perfectly free, and we're trying to reach 150 Talon Knights. Why don't you become a Talon Knight today? But getting back to the topic at hand. Why do I think that this was actually good? Because if you were part of the Champions World server on Friday night, or if you listened to the Pokepod World on Monday, you probably heard Tyrone, aka TG3. He went off on this battle. He hated it. If you look at Lumio's trainer Zach, or Zach Toshi, I know that's his Twitch. And no. It's Lumio's trainer Zach on YouTube. It's Zach Toshi on Twitch. But even he didn't like the battle. He gave this episode a 4 out of 10. Also, kind of spoiling, but also kind of, providing some content from some really good Anipoke community creators, I might add. But here's why I think that battle was actually smart, and why Leon's Charizard just absolutely obliterated Alain's Charizard. Now, as we all remember in this battle, the first matchup was a matchup of grass types. We had Chestnut and we had Rillaboom. Now, I'll say it straight up. I know people were speculating on Chestnut being Marin's Chespin fully evolved, but let's be real, Marin was never going to evolve that thing. Marin is like a young... I'll go this far. Marin is a hybrid of Dawn and Max, in the sense that they have a Pokemon that could evolve, but they're not going to evolve it because of some mystical force, or maybe Chessman's just happy with being a chessman. And yes, I know the whole crying thing for Marin was, it was sad, because, now I don't buy into that whole thing that they're the relationship or the shipping, as they call it in the anime and whatnot. But getting back to it, you saw Leon's Rillaboom defeat Alain's Chestnut, and it used Max Airstream, which, in all fairness, if you're a competitive player like me, a grass and fighting type is not going to like seeing a Max Airstream. So how the heck that didn't knock it out right then and there was one thing. And he used Gyro Ball to avoid it. Now, again, anime logic, all that stuff, because we saw Ash's Pikachu a couple weeks ago in the episode against Volkner with the Hyper Class. He used 10 million volt Thunderbolt and somehow managed to overcharge an Electivire's Motor Drive ability, which, anime logic, straight up. But Alain, he lost his Chestnut because after the Rillaboom finishes Gigantamax, which also, by the way, it confirms more about why. I mean, we saw it in the Isle of Armor that Mustard trained Leon to make him this unbeatable champion in a sense, because Mustard was the champion for, I think, what was it, 17 years, I think is what it said in the games? 17? I gotta double check on that one. But Alain went up against arguably the strongest Pokemon trainer ever, because he went to train with who probably was the strongest trainer ever in the sense of Mustard. And they know about the Max suit. We saw the whole Gengar situation, so he definitely gave Rillaboom the G-Max suit so Rillaboom can G-Max. Which also, it was very nice to see G-Max Rillaboom in the anime. It was nice seeing it with the drum beating and whatnot. You saw, I don't think he used G-Max drum solo. He might have, and I might be forgetting. But off rip, I mean, Chestnut going down was pretty much predicted, because Chestnut really doesn't have that many moves that can knock out a Rillaboom. Truthfully, I mean, I think it gets Ice Punch, but it doesn't get. I mean, it used Pin Missile, but Pin Missile is gonna do jack against a Rillaboom, whether it's regular or Gigantamax, unless it's a bug type. I don't think it gets Steamroll or anything like that. Does it get Poison Jab? I'd have to double check. But then we get into the main meat and butter of this episode, which is when Alain brings out his Charizard. And this is where I personally, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'm going to go at, which is why I think this battle was so perfectly done to demonstrate why Leon is so much better. Leon knew that the Charizard was going to be coming from Alain. Straight up. I mean, everybody and their mother knew that Alain was going to bring his Charizard. It's his ace. Much like Leon's Charizard is his ace. But, in this battle, now, to demonstrate my point, this image that's coming up right here, this is what's called the Pokemon Damage Calculator. It's a website attachment for Pokemon Showdown. If you don't know what Pokemon Showdown is, it's a unofficial Pokemon battle simulator. It's not like Battle Revolution, it's not like the Coliseum games, it's not like the box games, and it sure as hell ain't nothing like Legends Arceus. But the concept of the Damage Calculator website is very straightforward. It is designed for competitive players or just players in general. Like you see that they have all the games up until I think like Ruby, Sapphire, and X. I think that's when the IVs and EVs were an official thing. It might have been Gen 2. I'm not 100% sure. But Gen 3 is when it really just took off with IVs, EVs, natures, abilities, all that stuff. But the main thing that you have to realize in this battle that Leon probably took to advantage, and even Lance said it, that with the Rillaboom and Chestnut battle, that Leon was one step ahead of Alain because Rillaboom had acrobatics, and as evidenced by that. However, with the Charizard side of things, everybody wants to just go off as to why Leon's Charizard was able to defeat a Charizard and then a Mega Charizard X in roughly a minute's time flat, maybe a minute 10. And the answer is very simple. Leon's Rillaboom was still out when Charizard came out, and the first move that Alain told Charizard to pick was Flare Blitz, Flare Drive in Japanese. I probably botched that pronunciation big time. But the Rillaboom went down. Now, Flare Blitz from a Charizard to a Rillaboom is almost undoubtedly going to be a roll to kill if this is a competitive scene battle, unless the Rillaboom is holding what's called an Aka Berry, which will negate a super effective fire type attack by 50%. And the main thing is that the Rillaboom went down, so the Charizard, I mean, it takes recoil damage, straight up. And I'll actually tell you guys right now, because I do have the damage calculator website up. If we have Rillaboom out in front, and we'll just throw it out there, one Rillaboom, and we'll have regular Charizard out here, without Tough Claws, we'll say it was Blaze as the start. Flare Blitz does to a Rillaboom, assuming no HP investment, no defense investment, and no defense boosting nature, because that's something in competitive Pokemon that people don't realize, is the competitive natures. So if it's not a plus defense nature, Flare Blitz does at minimum to a Rillaboom 93.8% to 110.8%. But Charizard takes 38% of its health in what they call recoil damage. So you know how it says in the move data for Flare Blitz, where the user cloaks itself in fire and charges the target, this also damages the user quite a lot. And it may alleviate the target with a burn. In this case, the burn was a KO for Rillaboom. So Charizard's already down about 40% of its health, if we're going by that anime logic. Then Leon brings out his Charizard, and Air Slash is the first move that Leon picks on the Charizard. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Charizard, Alain's Charizard, it dodged the Air Slash, so it didn't get the damage there. But if we pull up a regular Charizard with the setup that it's there, not without the choice specs, because that's its own item, but we'll say it out there. We'll have Air Slash, we have Flamethrower because it had Flamethrower, we have Dragon Pulse, and we have Ancient Power. And then we put the Charizard into its Mega form. So, keep in mind, Charizard's already taken 40% of its health in recoil. Then you bring out the regular Charizard, Leon's uber super powerful Charizard. And it takes out the Malamar, which, in all fairness, I don't even know why the hell Alain has a Malamar. If I'm going to be fully honest, that's the only Pokemon in the entire Kalos Dex that I can't figure out why he would have. Like, just why? Like, the Mon doesn't even come in point with him. But when you have the Charizard come out, and Alain immediately Mega Evolves this Charizard into Mega Charizard X, Ancient Power does 45 to 53%. It would have been an Oko if Charizard was still in its regular form, but because the Ancient Power wasn't there, and also Charizard used Dragon Claw, so it kind of like, negated some of the damage, but still took the damage. And then you see Alain tell his Charizard, use Flare Blitz, and Leon tells his Charizard, Ryu no Hadon, or Dragon Pulse in Japan. And Dragon Pulse does 63 to 75% if a Charizard is regular on its own Mega Evolution. So in long story short, ladies and gentlemen, Leon's Charizard is definitely better than Alain's Charizard, and Leon is much better of a trainer because he takes what his opponent gives him. He changes his movesets. I don't know if he changes like how he trains them. I mean, he had that training episode where he basically did nothing except just ride around on Dragapult. But he changes his movesets all the time to give his Pokemon the best advantage against his opponent's team. And actually, I'll put it out here as a final thing. Imagine Alain is your run-of-the-mill trainer who in VGC who manages to make it to top cut in an international challenge. And he makes it to the finals, and his opponent is Sajin Park. I think that pretty much wraps it up right there, ladies and gentlemen. But again, that's my thoughts about why this battle was so perfect and why Alain's Charizard was so easily decimated by Leon's Charizard. But let me know what you guys think about this battle in the comment section down below. Once again, don't forget to leave a like. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me what you think about my opinion. And leave a subscribe and subscribe to every of the Draft League competitors. Subscribe to all the Champions League podcasters and all the champions themselves. I will see you guys next time. But for now, your Talonite Master has to fly.